One.
All right.
Everything's wrong with me.
Yeah. Jeez. Greetings.
Hello.
Welcome back to Morbid Mondays, your unhinged source for what the fuck moments throughout history. We will take turns giving you the weekly tour of all of the gross, gory, and downright odd moments in history. I will never memorize this.
I know.
I read it all the time. We are your hosts. I am Brian.
I'm Katie.
Now let's get into it.
Yes.
We are
this.
both kind of ill. You are ill. You are sick.
Yeah,
with a mask
it is
on.
Unfucking fortunate.
We are. My arm's killing me. My whole body hurts. Just
That's what you get for doing like 100-pound flyaways.
Yeah, work sucks.
In slow motion, Brian.
It's a slow decline.
You're insane.
So you widen everything. That's the 50s. That's how that happened. Very slow workouts hurt you.
This man knocked his shoulder out of place.
Yeah.
I'm a rat on your ass.
Popped it. Only barely, though. It just
I will, in fact,
sore.
tell on you. Do not think I won't.
I made the rookie mistake, though. I jumped back into working out and I just went too hard.
Yep.
That's
I almost did that when I started working out again, and then I was like, bitch, no. You remember what happened last time? You couldn't fucking move for 2 weeks? No.
Yeah.
Put the weights down, grab the resistance bands. You're starting from zero.
And I'm getting older, which is why today's episode is on medicine.
Oh, joy! Here we go.
Specifically, medicine that might make you young forever.
Okay. What in the Philosopher's Stone?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah, and that and many other things. So,
alchemy.
Yeah.
The episode.
Elixirs of life go back for forever.
Yes.
Right? In fact, one is in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where Gilgamesh seeks out a plant at the bottom of the sea after getting advice from a mythical Moses type guy. There's always an old man in the woods.
Dude, yes.
It's dangerous to go alone, Link. Take this. That guy.
Some soggy tart in the lake throwing you a sword.
And then also, that and a ton of other stuff. There's Amrita, and I'm sure I'm probably saying some of these wrong. The elixir of life in Hindu scriptures, it said that eating or drinking a small bit of this, which is a nectar, will give you eternal life. It was eaten
very similar to ambrosia.
Yeah, it's by the devas drink it, and it is supposed to give them a mortality, but they can still be killed, I think. And it's made, at least in one of the scriptures, from the churning of the oceans between gods and demons, and something in that process.
That's how we got Aphrodite.
Yeah.
That's a euphemism for sex.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool. But very poetic, and some of these are less so. Yeah, we'll go into the other ones a little bit later. But the Chinese believed, and let me backtrack a second. A lot of these myths are based around properties of things. And past the Epic of Gilgamesh and some of because the Hindi stuff and the epics go back so far in time that we're kind of pre-Greece, pre-China. And so when we get into a little bit later, the Chinese are going to look at it differently, and so do the Greeks, and many other people as well. But they believe in ingesting precious substances. And we'll get into why that is. But in their medicines, they put things like jade and gold and cinnabar, strangely enough, into a lot of their alchemical mixtures that they're trying to seek eternal life. And one of the reasons they do that is because these things don't tarnish.
So something that our audience may not know about me, that I know for a fact that you know about me, is that I am addicted to Chinese period dramas.
Yeah,
I fucking love those things. The short ones and the great long beautiful epics. I love those. But I've noticed that there is almost always an alchemist and an astronomer.
Yes.
in every series.
So let me tell you why that is. So the reason why is because in these searching things for eternal life, in China specifically, they had two separate like philosophies about this.
Mm-hmm.
So one was the path of like Taoism.
Mm-hmm.
And Taoism had this belief that a lot of the early Taoist alchemists believed that you could go out and find physical things that had the properties of non-corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So if we think about like precious metals, they don't tarnish.
Yeah, like gold.
Yeah, and they don't react to anything. So they always stay in their state. So the idea is that you take something like jade, which doesn't really change no matter what you do to it. You boil
But according to every drama I've ever watched, shatters so easy.
it's very fragile. Yeah, it's you can't like smash it on anything, right? But because of that, they figure, well, if you ingest it, maybe you can take on some of the properties. A lot of the stuff that they would use in these are what they called the 40 yellow medicines. And so it's like sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
And so in large amounts, which will definitely do a lot of damage.
And it smells bad.
And it smells terrible. Yeah. So like
eggs.
cinnabar is one that's in a lot of their recipes.
Yes.
Which is super toxic.
So I never knew what that was, and I still don't have the greatest grasp of it, because like I will occasionally run into it in Minecraft, and I'm like, haha, Cinnabon.
Yeah.
And then I realize that it's like, no, that's an actual like rock.
Yeah, I want to say it's like mercury sulfate or something like that. I know it has
Dude,
mercury in it.
There is so much quicksilver, mercury in all of that medicine.
Oh, yeah.
And it frightens me because that'll kill you.
Yeah, a ton of mercury, because mercury is another one of those. So, and that actually is a great segue to one of the other properties that a lot of these early like alchemical mixtures were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Gold is the ultimate, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't matter what you do to it. You can mix it into other things and it will come out of those things. It doesn't alloy well, not really.
But it plates like
really
a champ.
And what a lot of people were trying to do is make a permanent liquid gold.
No.
Not using heat, right? No, it's a metal. It doesn't want to do
how
that.
that works.
But mercury does.
Yeah.
And so mercury has that liquid metal property to it. Another kind of like philosophical thing is that things like liquids or gases have more like life energy, right? Because they're moving. They're and we still kind of do this. If you go into like any current woo-woo shop, there's a lot of the feeling that like things that are bright smelling or citrusy have more life, have more energy in them, and that it's strangely to some degree that's kind of true. You know, like because liquids molecularly are moving around more, gases are moving around more than liquid.
Be reinvigorating.
Yeah, and so like
or just invigorating in general, not necessarily
Yeah.
I'm
gonna hit this corpse with some oranges. Wake up!
Wake up, Mr. President! Here's your vitamin C.
But so, like, moving on from that little bit, because now we've kind of talked to, like, we're kind of into the subject.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Potions that make you immortal, and the people who sought them
allegedly,
right?
Yeah.
And there are some that, like, when you read through some of these old texts, they say like, oh, and this is the immortality potion. And there's a weird thing that happens where there's kind of an assumption that even if you have the recipe, because we're not in science, right?
No. We are firmly in woo territory.
Yeah, when you get into like old Taoist pharmacology,
I say that lovingly.
Yeah. This is like some of this stuff is really interesting,
Yeah.
and in some cases they were correct about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
They could treat like infections and stuff with a lot of this stuff.
They accidentally got it right.
Yeah, by just fucking around constantly. And so like the people who tried to find out how to do that and how they tried. Well, I'll go ahead and give a couple ones that are really interesting to me. We talked a little bit about the like the Chinese stuff, and I'm not going to go super into the individual names because there are so many.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's like, and some of these people probably didn't really exist. We do have a couple of their like I mentioned very briefly earlier that we have some of their like recipes. People found some of their recipes.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely will not make you live forever. They might make you live much shorter, actually. But it's kind of assumed that even if you have it, you might not be able to make it. And the reason why is because you're not one of those like semi-magical human beings, right? Like when we talk about like old Taoist sages or these astrologers that are really big at the time, they are kind of wizards in a way.
Very much
in the stories, right? Like they have secret knowledge of all kinds of stuff,
or they have fantastical ingredients like 1,000-year-old ginseng, and some of these ingredients get crazy, especially when you start looking at like the Chinese, like the ancient Chinese medicines and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's if you really had that, that's very very cool. But I don't think you had that.
yeah. I don't think you had it, and if you didn't, if you also sometimes they mention things, or at least this is the case in some old Japanese mythology and a couple of other places throughout the world. But it might be like, all right, you've got the ingredients, but do you have the spider teapot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to have the special thing to make the thing.
And don't forget your unicorn tears.
Yeah, that's right. This is the most like insane together things, which means that it's like impossible if you present this to a Tang era emperor of China. It's like impossible for you to prove that it's real.
Yeah.
But also impossible for them to prove that you're a charlatan because they can never find the thing.
The earliest snake oil.
Yeah. So like some of the patrons of these earliest people were like straight up emperors.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like
dude, King
Emperor
Henry VIII was like down bad.
Yeah. Give me that unicorn horn, which is really like just a discarded narwhal horn, or like a bezoar, which is like a gallstone.
Correct. Good job.
Yeah. This is not going to do anything for you. Rub this gallstone on your chest. It'll get rid of poison. What?
Grind this gallstone up and drink it, and it will neutralize every toxin. No, it won't.
You're right.
You are incorrect.
Some of this alchemy led us to a great deal of scientific discovery. In the 1660s, a guy named Henning Brand was searching for the Philosopher's Stone.
As they do.
As they do, and a lot of like Rosicrucians and other alchemists were looking for a theoretical Philosopher's Stone, which was either liquid gold in many cases, in many writings, or, and that is, when I say liquid gold, I mean cold liquid gold, which was thought to be an acid of some form. Metals like mercury that would take a liquid metal form but be cold to the touch. That made no sense to them because all other metals require extreme heat. So, right, because there's their regular state. And that's the thing, right? Iron is liquid, not at our atmosphere and our temperature. It's only liquid when you add a lot of heat to it. But there are some that will maintain a liquid state in our atmosphere and our temperature. So, like, to them, they didn't know any of this. They were kind of unlocking the secrets of the world while
they were
doing
still in
this.
the fuck around before they got to find out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to them, to some of these people, especially in like the medieval period, this was just straight up magic.
Yeah.
They were like unlocking the secrets of God, like, and when they said elements, they meant fire, sand, stuff like that, right? Henning Brand discovered phosphorus.
Really?
Yeah. So he figured out that by adding certain things to a boiling, like a really, really hot calcimator or a retort, he could turn it into a gas and then cool that gas, almost like you do alcohol. And then certain things would crystallize out.
That's neat. So it's like early distillation.
Yeah, but with like gases instead of liquids, right? And not turning into liquids, but trying to get like pastes or solids to drop out.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so he would add something else into where it was distilling into to get it to like combine. They don't know anything about chemical bonds or anything like ionic bonds or anything like that. He's just fucking around a lot. What he was trying to do was turn other things into gold, right? So he was trying to find this liquid metal to turn things into gold. He actually had a recipe in one of his things to turn like things into silver. Obviously, that does not work. But this is something that he wrote about phosphorus. I found this super interesting. When he got it to crystallize out, phosphorus solution would glow with the life force because phosphorus glows.
Yeah.
And so they had already discovered that there were a couple of stones that if you left out in the daylight and then brought them into dark, they would glow. And so phosphorus has a kind of like bright glow to it at all
Yeah, it's
times. It's
typically like a greenish.
yes. Yeah, once he could get it into a powder, he said it was kind of like a pale green glow.
Hey!
And
Get me remembering shit.
this like this philosophy and all of this alchemy, this shows up tons of times, right? Like when we have these things that are like like milk of magnesia,
Mm,
that's old science. A milk of something is like a white acid.
yeah.
And so like, or anything like that, right? Any kind of like white solution that comes out of something. And that is bismuth.
Hey!
So like, or magnesia, sorry, but there's bismuth powder. There's a milk of bismuth.
Well, I mean, that's Pepto.
It's Pepto, right? Like, so there's all that kind of shit, right? They were doing all of this in their little home labs, trying to figure out how to get this various philosopher's stone.
I tried to make gold, but I made a pink goo. What happened?
And then a lot of acids come out of this process because they're trying to what they're doing is that they're putting things like copper and other metals and other like things that are just common in the world and dissolving them in acids, stronger and stronger acids, and not really understanding what's happening.
What kind of acids would they have had like access to at that point? Like obviously vinegar.
Yeah, they would have malic acid because that's from fruit.
And probably ammonia because they were cleaning stuff with urine.
Yeah,
Or
they would have.
distilled or
Well,
fermented
that's
urine.
actually back to our story.
Hey!
How you get phosphorus is that you distill urine because a small amount of your urine is phosphorus. So yeah, and getting ammonia, and then you keep going.
Look at me getting us back on track.
Yeah.
Hey!
So there's a rumor that some of the people who are listening to this may have heard this guy died from drinking urine because there was a person who like thought you were peeing your life force out.
Dude, there are nut bars that are doing it right now.
Yeah, really wild shit. And there's this idea that we found phosphorus because the person died from like a phosphorus overdose or something like that. That's not true. That's not what happened.
No.
There was a guy that thought you were peeing your life force out. That's like Galen's humor theory that you were getting rid of too much of one kind of bile. So he was trying to add it back in.
No, you are pissing out all of the toxins your body said, I don't want this.
Yeah, which even goes against Galen's theory because Galen's theory was like, oh, you're peeing. That's getting rid of a certain kind of, like a certain kind of bile.
Yeah.
You should be doing that. Like his thought was that if you were sick, maybe you needed to pee more. Some of these various things are mentioned as like the waters of eternity or something like that, right? We have
I'm familiar with that one,
right?
Specifically,
the conquistadors were looking for a fountain of youth. You have,
and they thought it was in Florida.
Yeah, right, and yeah, boy, were they wrong. It's quite the opposite. That's going to become kind of relevant here in a moment.
No, you found the swamp of doom.
Meanwhile, at the Justice League, there's so
Sorry.
that was so that's a big theme in all these actually is that like what they're looking for they end up doing the exact opposite of. They look for these like waters of life and then they die. The Ishkabaha,
that's fun,
is the Irish word, the Gaelic word for water of life, which is what they call whiskey.
as you should.
Yeah. And for at least that one makes sense, right? When you drink, you feel more alive, right? So people
Until
say
the next morning.
and there's that consequence. There's a lot of things like that. They're like, oh, this is the water of life. Because waters and these kind of like fluids are thought to be more like infused with life. Their shine seems to make a certain amount of weight into this, at least in Europe. And
that tracks for Mercury because that was part of the reason that it was considered one of the like. I hesitate to say holy, but it was considered like super magical.
So let's circling back, right? We talked about how they were looking for liquid gold.
Yeah.
Right. What's the liquid mercury called?
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
So they have liquid silver.
Yeah.
Which they don't know is not silver at all.
No.
They're gonna learn that pretty quick. But
once again, highly toxic.
Yeah. Still gonna kill you. All these things are like really bad. moving back to China, it was this quest that led monks in the 9th century to develop a new substance. Instead of liquid gold, it was black, the color of charcoal used as its base. This new elixir was the culmination of a rich alchemical history throughout China, combining potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal. Sorry to disappoint everyone, but this will not make you immortal. In fact, it will make you very sick if you eat it. And if you put a capful of it into a big metal tube, you might be able to make other people die rather quickly. But of course, I'm talking about gunpowder. Gunpowder
Yes.
came out of the search for a elixir of immortality. So did many, many, many things throughout the Chinese alchemical tradition. But that's one of, like, to
The
me,
birthplace of fireworks.
yes. And in bomb arrows, we have a diagram that I looked at while looking up all of this stuff. That it's an arrow with like a round catchment, like a ring that you put gunpowder in. It's a flame arrow, so it's a big like bodkin tipped arrow. You dip into pitch and shoot, and when it lands, the flame, of course, burns up, hits the gunpowder, and explodes.
Jesus.
That's some Assassin's Creed shit.
It's fantastic.
Ancient Chinese weapons are awesome.
Yes.
Like
for real. Straight up.
But-
The OGs.
yes. Fucking, yeah. In like direct artillery, arrow launchers, all kinds of shit.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got, like, looking through all of these things, it's amazing to how many of them are like, oh, we're looking for eternal life. What did you make?
A bomb.
A bomb. Yeah. We're looking for eternal life. What did you make? High proof of alcohol. We're looking for eternal life. What did you make? It's a drink. It's filled full of cyanide. Like, it's every time.
What if you got there? Death? No!
Yeah. Every single time. Dude, it cracks me up because this is kind of like my Morbid Monday for this week, is that I was looking up things of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to look up, like, I thought about the guy that like found distilled urine into phosphorus. And I had heard about that rumor of him like drinking it to death because he thought he was like leeching his own life. There was a guy that did that. It wasn't him. It was a different guy. And these two stories have been conflated. He was way more of a legitimate alchemist. And he was trying to do stuff. He has several elemental finds attributed to his name. He kept this all secret until he sold them to other people. And so we have like a record of when he officially released the discovery of phosphorus.
Businessman.
Yeah, in 1680.
Yeah.
And I was like, way to go you, man.
Yeah, for real.
We've got a recipe with gunpowder. We've got a recipe from Bacon, not Francis Bacon, the other one. Sir Bacon. No, I forget what his first name was. But he has a recipe for a mixture, because it's a mixture of various things to make gunpowder. For gunpowder in like the 1300s. And so this is like hand-gone, HANDGONNE, hand-gone. Like
Yeah.
It's a stick with a fucking pipe on it. Era firearms, right? It's really crazy stuff. And we're still kind of doing this today. So you mentioned earlier, there's like people drinking their urine for some reason because they think it's healthy for them. I don't know why.
Every now and again they cross my feed and like I'm not even kidding when I say this. I'm scrolling as one does, doom scrolling on like Instagram or Facebook or something, and it'll be one of those text posts. And it'll be like, I need some advice. My urine has been blah 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 and it's not working for blah 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 blah. What can you advise me to drink to fix this? And I'm like, stop using your piss for medicinal shit. Go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah, we are well past the there's a kind of funny thing about like, herbalism, which is like a legitimate study of like, hey, how do you use like stuff that you can grow to make medicine? And also like as a functional daily health thing of just kind of like, like what can you eat, for instance, to maybe slightly increase your vascularity. That's the thing. There are foods. You don't have period cramps. What can I do about that? You can put ginger in your tea.
Yes.
That's a thing that really does work and is prescribed to people to do as a regular thing. So, and has been done for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And so
there is a legitimacy. Like I have never in my life, like raised in a medical household. Obviously, that is a well-known fact about me. Both of my parents were in the medical field. I have never once in my entire existence experienced a medical professional turning their nose up at herbalism.
But homeopathy is different, right?
Yeah.
Homeopathy is like the idea of taking a trace amount of something and having it in your daily life and saying that it's going to do something kind of miraculous. Originally,
colloidal silver.
Yes.
I got beef with colloidal silver.
And so here's some insider stuff. This is kind of part of the eternal life thing. Homeopathy gets its roots around the same time this guy is discovering phosphorus.
Of course.
Not in name. Like nobody's going, this is homeopathy. That's more like an 1800s thing.
Mm.
But there's a couple of basic beliefs that people have, and some people still have these. That one is that whatever ails you, there is a fix for it in earth. In other words, like this comes out of a belief that God or nature itself would have placed a plant to solve whatever problem. If this disease exists, there must be a plant that will cure it. That's not true in any form, or that, you know what I mean? Like that's simply not true. There's not like a plant you can eat for like a broken leg.
Wouldn't it be nice though?
Yeah, it would be great if like the Harry Potter shit was real. But I mean,
the closest thing you can get for a plant for a broken leg is going to be a poppy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, eat this heroin; it'll make you feel better. But yeah, that's kind of the thing.
About the closest you're going to get. And even then, you've got to process the absolute fuck out of it.
And then the other big idea is that, well, if you take something that's poisonous, and then you take a very, very small amount of it, your body will counteract it in some way. That is only true with very specific things and mostly allergens of like small exposure to minor allergy. Yeah.
Exposure therapy is a thing. However, you are not ever going to be immune to a lethal dose of arsenic.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, there's no, this is not iocane powder. It's not, it's not, that would be more akin to.
Inconceivable.
Yeah. That would be more akin to like, dying from an overdose of like a very specific kind of like narcotic or something you might build up a resistance to. But
I mean, you can build a resistance. You can build a, what's the other word I'm looking for here? Tolerance.
Yeah, tolerance.
But listen.
There's a low dose that you simply will never be able to overcome. There's no, you're going to become immune to it. And taking us into the modern era of elixirs of eternal life.
Ooh.
We've got the current one is peptides, right? It's like Jim Bro is taking peptides and it just makes things work better, that kind of stuff. And some of them actually do work. There's some like, or there is some legitimate science to some of these. Will they
the collagen ones?
Yeah, they're not going to make you 20 again.
No.
Are they a good, like that? What are they called? NNMs? That's Brian Johnson, the vampire guy. He's big into those. So is Kim Kardashian. They seem to work to some degree.
Collagen will help your body, but it's not a cure-all.
No, it's not gonna
a miracle anything. It is a vitamin.
Yeah, some of these like prescription peptides or rather highly designer peptides might slow aging. And what I mean by that is like the effects that cellular decay has on the body.
Well, the problem with that is that we're breathing oxygen.
Well, we're just the big chemical engine. Yeah. I mean, like our whole body is a giant chemical engine. Here's where I want to talk about why we die, because that's something that is not really discussed a lot in modern day. Take this, it'll make you live for 100 years type of thing, right? We die, by and large, if you don't die from quote unquote natural causes. Everything is a natural cause. But like if you're not hit by a car, if you don't have a heart attack, if you don't have cancer, right? Like
if truck gun doesn't get you.
Yeah. If you're not suddenly isekai'd to another world as a refrigerator. Oh man.
Bless you. Thank you for understanding my
Yeah.
sense of humor.
But even if nothing happens in your body, nothing happens wrong. You don't have any like clogged arteries, you never get cancer, you never get hit by a viral load that stops all your processes, there's no bacteria that kills you. What inevitably will happen is that your cells will degrade, your
Yeah.
DNA will degrade. And at the end of our DNA, we have these little caplets called telomeres that try to fix that problem. They come in and they try to repair broken and degraded DNA. Your body also has several functions in it to destroy cells that
It's
are
why we
misgrown.
get gray hair.
Yeah, we all that we gradually change, and that is good. If you stayed the exact same, like it would be wonderful if we could stay the exact same for a very, very long amount of time. And we do for the most part,
Mm.
for decades, stay more or less the same. They did, I remember about a decade ago, I remember reading a study about rats.
Hmm.
They were attempting to get that telomere length to be really long so that the rats just lived longer, right? Essentially extending their lifespan. Never going to make them immortal, but it might make them live double or triple the amount of time.
Hmm.
Easier to do in rats than it is in humans.
Well, I mean,
We require, and one of the reasons is you talked about oxygen earlier. We are big calorie burning machines.
yeah.
We simply require a lot more calories, and also because we are larger, we have more cells. There's more shit to go wrong.
Yeah. And
So
that's not including like just random free radicals. Also, I read something that like you have cancer all the time.
all the time,
It's
yeah.
just that your body destroys it.
Well, if it didn't, so we can go two ways with this, right? The rats, they were able to introduce some changes to their DNA that gave them longer telomere length.
Mm-hmm.
They developed cancer almost immediately.
Called it.
All of them, leukemia, hands down.
Yeah.
And so, because their cells just start growing out of, growing like crazy. So you have cancer all the time, or rather, you have
The potential.
your body destroys cells
Mm-hmm.
that you have cellular mitosis. Your cells split all the time. When a cell comes out wonky, your body destroys that cell.
Yes.
There are protein markers in your body that go like identify that and kill it, because they don't want it to keep. Your body doesn't want to keep replicating
Broken things.
the
Yeah.
broken or mutated cell, because those broken and mutated cells largely are what cancer is.
Mhm.
And so like it's mutated, it's growing out of control, or it's growing in a way it shouldn't be, or it's growing way too fast. There are structures like your bones that grow constantly
Mhm.
and have to be cut down constantly. There are, unfortunately,
Bone spurs.
well, there is a genetic illness where your body doesn't know how to stop the bone growth.
Oh,
You just turn into a statue.
that's unfortunate.
Horrendously. Yeah, like every time you bruise your arm, the bone wants to grow into that space.
Oh.
There's a Sid Meier's exhibition for Body Worlds that has a couple of these skeletons,
Mhm.
and they're just like, it's like their bones are covered in thorns.
Ugh.
It's a horrendous way to go.
And I imagine painful.
Yeah, and it's very rare, because so once they spread into your lungs,
Yeah.
right? Like you can't really survive that. So it's really wild. It's super, super rare. But you do have that. You also have diseases like Harlequin. I think it's called Harlequin symbrosis,
Yes.
where your skin grows without stopping constantly, and that they lose all their hair because their skin overgrows the follicles. They have to exfoliate their body every day. I'm pretty sure they've got that one licked. They've started working on like DNA therapy to stop that. Fingers crossed that nobody ever has to deal with that again. There's a great like BBC documentary about a family of little girls that have this, heartbreaking, because they're so sweet. Like all of them are so sweet. And but that's all those things that we just discussed are why you really can't have an elixir of eternal life.
Yeah.
Because even if you did, even if you could somehow stop your body from aging, you can't stop arterial buildup. You can't stop, like a bus from hitting you. You can't, like, like there's certain things that.
And you have the random mutations that your body that your body is spitting out all the time.
Right. If you lived for 10,000 years, then you have a lot more chances to develop something new and interesting in your
Yeah.
body. So like yeah, there is that. And then there's also just like you mentioned like, free radical buildup or just buildup.
Mhm.
Like we have no idea what would happen to you if you really did live for 1,000 years. We don't know. My guess, skin cancer is almost
Spontaneous
certain.
mutations,
Yeah,
if nothing,
and then
because that's simply
yeah, we're kind of assuming. Let's assume that if you could live for 1,000 years, that most of that 1,000 years, your cellular replication is spotless,
mhm.
right? So you don't, and you never stop creating collagen, and you never stop, you don't become sensitive to a certain kind of testosterone or whatever, right? The myriad of things that happen as you get older. Imagine if you lived in a place, right, where some small element was just building up in your system, just tiny amounts of mercury or something like that in your brain, just higher than what your body could get rid of.
Oh. Oh. Oh, you'd be crazy in,
Yeah,
like, 150 years.
that's like, yeah, because you have so much time. Um, and to kind of like, because this is a very short episode, more or less, I'm just talking, but to kind of
Oh.
wrap up
Oh, no.
why I wanted to talk about this and what makes it a Morbid Monday for me, anyways, is the great irony of all of these health potions that their most famous outcome has killed more human beings than probably anything else. So, black powder largely, we think, made it into great parts of Eurasia and other parts of, outside of China because of Genghis Khan.
Yep.
So, like the movement of weapons across the world, the movement of signal rockets, the movement of like, because fireworks didn't start off as just like pretty displays.
Yeah,
They
no.
started off as weapons. We know, like, for instance, Genghis Khan employed shock troops from Korea that would basically throw grenades at you. Like they were like the first people to do this, right? You've got this movement of gunpowder across the world. Once it gets to Europe, it starts getting refined into rifles after
Mhm.
like the arquebus eventually gets after the handgun gets made. You all throughout the Middle East, people developed really outrageous cannons for some of which were big enough to just blow holes into castle walls.
I love that in the pursuit of of immortality, the waters of life, we created fucking gunpowder.
Yeah. And the brief mention of the waters of life out of Ireland, right? The
Mm.
whiskey, the poteen, and all that stuff. When you look at modern gun violence, alcohol's involved a lot. So
Goodbye, inhibitions.
yeah, it's the greatest irony of history is like out of all of this eternal life seeking, we get phosphorus, we get gunpowder, um,
Booze.
we get booze, we get like, and I think I really,
Distilled booze.
yeah,
Let's put it that way.
I throw that into the Irish one. I don't think that's, in fact, I'm almost positive that's not how that came to be. I think that's just a different technology that they were just using to make what they were using. I don't think anybody was trying to be like alchemical about it, but probably there's a little bit of that in there in history.
Alchemy is shockingly prevalent in history. And
Yeah.
like it goes through these odd phases where like it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. It's really, really not cool. It's really not cool. Don't do that. Oh, nope, we're cool again.
Right.
What?
Yeah, it was like witchcraft, and then suddenly it became like the cool kids thing in the church. It was
Yes.
like, oh, look, it's
Like
science.
you had random like noble ladies reading tarot cards in the salon.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sorry, 50 years ago you were hanging like local midwives because their birth rates were too high.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's really crazy because I wonder what the next iteration of secret elixir of life will be.
Creatine.
Yeah, oh, that's the current one. Yeah, so many. It's a cheat code for your genetics. That's
I'm
what I
telling
keep
you,
hearing on
I
the
hit
internet.
like 4 ads for creatine because I've been looking for a new protein supplement.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Creatine really does work.
Really?
Yeah, I take it all the time. It, like if you now granted, the whole like it'll make your brain work better and all that stuff.
Well,
There is
caffeine is designed to do that.
yeah,
So
there is actually some indication that that is true. That there's a low dose of creatine that does make your body just function better. There's been a lot of studies on this.
it's because it's a vasodilator,
Yeah, right.
not a
Better blood
vasorestrictor.
better blood flow improves most things.
Yeah.
And so also it fixates water into your muscles better.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why like bodybuilders take it, is that it's for the pump. It actually just makes your
For the gains.
and it gives you more energy. Like it really does. Like I can tell there's a clear difference when I'm using creatine and when I'm not using creatine when I work out.
That's cool. I said it as a joke, but I
Yeah.
mean, here we are.
If you don't take enough water with it, you get creatine cramps and they suck.
It's like a Charlie horse on Charlie horse.
Yeah, they
Shout out to horses. Fuck Charlie horse on steroids.
It's
don't know
John.
why I got
John
so
got
hung up
one
on
in
that.
his hamstring the last time I talked to him. That he was just like we were out doing some like stick or sword stuff, and he was saying like he was taking it light. He didn't want to sweat because he had taken a lot of creatine that day, and he was like, I'm really nervous that I haven't had enough water. They're that bad that like if you get like if you take a lot of creatine and you get a cramp from it, they're so bad that you get like worried
Dude, and the
that you
little
haven't had
tubs
enough
of
water.
creatine are like emphasis on little. They're itty bitty.
Yeah.
So like that's clearly one of the. I don't even know what to call that. Is it a supplement? Is it a compound? Is it?
It's a supplement. It's so that the little ones specifically are like a pre-buffered higher concentration.
Mm.
So you can get them in like the big tubs, and that has like a lot of filler to it.
Mhm.
So you put like a big scoop or whatever. The little ones is like a tiny little cap, and you put like 2 of those into a bottle of water, and that's it. And
Prey, apparently.
yeah, they've got it where it tastes like lime and shit now. But I remember for a little while it was resveratrol. Do you remember that push?
Yeah, I do.
Resveratrol will cure everything. Fucking keep you from having cancer. It'll remove free radicals.
And then it was ketones.
The raspberry ketones.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever
I
the
remember
fuck
that.
those were even supposed to do for you.
It was written.
Yeah.
I remember I worked in the pharmacy when this push on the ketones was happening, because it was supposed to be like the new ultimate oh my god weight loss thing, and then they found out that it was like good for or they allegedly found out that it was good for everything, like anti-aging and da 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 da, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, eat raspberries.
Yeah, which is legitimate health advice. They're like handful of red berries, handful of like dark blueberries because of the cyano, whatever they're called.
Yeah, not to mention all the vitamins in them.
Yeah, right, because it's chock full of B vitamins.
Also, delicious.
Yeah, that's so. I remember the ketones thing was also heavily connected to the keto diet.
Oh yeah,
Like, people
yeah,
were
yeah.
doing that, and so I was like, okay, like Emily did it for a little while, and it does work.
Mhm.
It sucks when you
Yes,
screw
I
up.
remember. I remember vividly because she was like in a full. I love my little sister to death. I love her so much. She's my baby sister. I love her. She was in the middle of doing the keto thing with a couple of other people, like as support and stuff. And she came over, and it was one of the nights that I had cooked for both of our households. And she came over, and we had dinner, and I'd like specifically set aside for stuff for her. And I made her own dessert, and then we had German chocolate cake on the side, which in retrospect was kind of mean.
Straight carbs.
Oh my god.
Straight carbs.
She ate the icing off of my cake, off of my slice of cake. And then I was like, you are going to be so sick. Do not do that. And she's like, I'll be fine. 10 minutes later.
Full flu. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you get a flu? Like you keto flu from it? Like you get like
Well, she ran to the bathroom and puked.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was like, I told you so. Do you want some water?
I wonder, so, like, because I think about this sometimes, right? Of like, what's the next big thing? Is it going to be? These guys were looking for like the Philosopher's Stone and liquid gold, and they were looking for things that don't change a lot, and hoping that those properties would infuse into us if we ingested them
Mm-hmm.
in the way that like we eat muscle to gain muscle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like in that kind of sense. I wonder, like, because we're kind of out of that stage. And I wonder if the next big breakthrough to try, or big attempt rather, to try to make people live a lot longer will come through maybe viral means. And what I mean by that is like a retrovirus that changes the way that our DNA works,
Well,
or what it looks like, or
I
if it
know that
will
there's an
come from.
anti-aging thing going on right now because there is some model. I want to say he's Korean. I could be wrong, but who apparently just turned 65 and looks like he's like maybe 30. And everybody is like, "What are you doing? What's your routine?" I'm telling you right now, that's genetics.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing of just like, I know people who have looked like they were 40 since they were 20.
hmm
I went to high school with a guy that had like a full beard, like 5 o'clock shadow every day, and tired eyes, and he was 16, and he looked like an old man. Now the good thing about him is that he also looked like it. He looked exactly the same for the next 40 years of his life. So like that's he didn't change any, right? Uh, but I've met people like your centenarians, your people that like live to 105.
hmm
They ask him like, well, what do you do in your daily life? Or, what's your diet like? And there's a guy that's in like Mississippi, I think.
hmm
He lived to be like 110. He was a World War II veteran.
Period.
He ate ice cream, drank Dr. Peppers, and smoked cigars every day of his life.
Let's fucking go.
And he's like, what do you think makes you live so long? He's like, well, first, I never stop doing anything.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, he's constantly moving, right?
Yeah.
That was a big thing. It's like I've always got something to look forward to. I make sure I have something to look forward to, and I do what I like to do. So his stress levels are low, and he always had a purpose.
hmm
But then he just flat out said it. He goes, I think I'm just lucky.
Mm.
And that is probably more true than anything else, is that like genetics. He got a good lucky roll and will live to be 110.
Now, I do agree with you that I think that our next bid for this elusive, unchanging immortality is probably going to be something viral
Yeah.
because there have already been forays into it.
Yeah, essentially custom retroviruses that
Yeah,
are slightly changing your DNA for the better,
yeah.
basically, or your cellular structure for the better.
I agree that it's probably going to hit like that, and then there's it. Mm.
Or horrifically, maybe not. There's a young kid in Europe. I forget what his name is. He's one of those super geniuses. That's
Mhm.
like a 9-year-old who just graduated from college, and his whole thing. He asked them. They were asking him in an interview, what does he want to work on? He was like, I want to work on making sure that a human being lives to be like a couple hundred years old. And he goes, how do you figure on doing that? He goes, machines.
Yeah.
He's like, replace all your organs with machines.
Hello, cyberpunk.
Yeah. You can walk around like a Adeptus Mechanicus model. But like, that's kind of horrific to me because the thing about some of that is like when they put in the false heart, the old one's still in there. It's like when you have a mechanical heart, you have two hearts.
Yeah.
You have the new one and the old one is still, because they can't cut it off. The like, there's too much blood in it, right?
Yeah.
You will die.
Your heart
So-
is in fact a sack, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. So
And it's filled with blood like all the time.
yeah, even if it's not pumping correctly, it's still moving a lot of blood around.
Yeah.
And so there's that, and then there's like, what do you do about brains? Because he even this little super genius kid was like, well, there's nothing you can really do about the brain. It's not through machines, anyways, unless you're gonna like figure out some way to put a hard drive in your head. But fucking, what was that movie called?
Which one?
Damn it, Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
That it fascinates me to see what our next big elixir of life, our Xiandan, as they called it in China, will be. If it's mechanical, if it's retrovirus, if it's medicinal in some way, if somebody figures out a medicine that just causes us to work better.
I completely agree with you. I think that humanity is going to continue to strive for the Philosopher's Stone, as it were, immortality, because humanity's greatest fear is death.
Yeah. That's like the last thing. Like we do this thing that I find so fascinating, which is that we create monsters.
Mm-hmm.
That's because nothing is scary enough anymore.
Yeah.
Lions aren't scary. I own a 10 gauge. You know what I mean? Like lions are scary with my hands. You know what I mean? Like against my hands. But like once you get to the like level of, if you are holding right now a small machine gun, there is not a lot that can hurt you.
Yeah.
There just
Provided
is not.
your aim is good enough.
Yeah,
you're good.
it's just like, we were a lot of our early monsters were things that really do exist in nature, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the things that Hercules fought was just a
Nemean
lion. Yeah, a lion with impenetrable skin, but their monsters were largely things that just happened in nature. A whirlpool was a monster, right? Like in Norse mythology, narwhals. Yeah. Scylla is the one with a bunch
Scylla's
of
the one
heads.
with the wall.
Yeah, that bites you.
Charybdis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa, pulled that just out of... Wow.
Out of 90s made for TV fiction.
Yeah.
But
the Odyssey.
yeah. But like in Norse mythology, right? Or rather, I shouldn't say Norse mythology. In Beowulf, one of the things, the monsters that shows up in his race with Brecca, is just a narwhal.
Yeah.
It's just a narwhal. There's no like the Kraken
concept
is
of
a giant squid.
Yermangander is
Big sea snake.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's what's scarier than a snake? A big snake. You know. That's basically what a dragon is.
A wolf.
Big, yeah, Finril, giant wolf. Ursa, giant bear.
Yeah.
You know, like there's all that kind of stuff, right? Giants, giant people.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like what's scarier than a big warrior? A big giant warrior.
I love that it's entirely possible that the concept of a cyclops came from somebody finding a mammoth skull.
You're right. And just going, that's a crazy looking face. Like
where the rest of your face at?
Yeah. and and then like our modern day monsters, we have to be so crazy with them because nothing's really scary anymore. You know what I mean? Like vampires aren't in our modern day. Vampires represent things.
Listen,
they're not just, oh, it's a guy that bites you. It's now a concept like greed or something like that, right?
I come from the Anne Rice school of vampires. Thank you. So I happen to know that they can be whiny bitches, but I get it. Like humanity has to create its own monsters, like Cthulhu,
right?
The unknowable, the madness, the undefined,
and even some of his stuff is like the people of Innsmouth, fish people, who I'm gonna, for those of y'all who aren't super aware of H.P. Lovecraft, Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft was like really racist.
Was so racist. Oh my, I'm terrified of women.
He lived in New England and he lived in New York for an amount of time, even though he was a terrible agoraphobe. And so people who are moving into the coastal parts of like some of the waterfront parts of New York and the other places that he lived, which were like, he lived in Chicago for a little while, I think. Mm-hmm. And then what was the other place?
For a shut-in, he got around.
Living in like Concord or something, like
really?
some little place. I don't remember where it was, but some smaller.
My fascination with his horror stories kind of fell off once I realized what a piece of shit human being he was, and I was like,
yeah,
you suck. It's a shame your stories are kind of great. God damn it.
Yeah, it's like his universe is so absolutely wonderful, but
flying space cats.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite stories. It's so fucking random.
But one of the big bads of the Lovecraftian universe, because it wasn't just him writing; it was a ton of people.
No. It was a collaborative effort, but to create the universe.
There is one person that's like the mother of monsters, and I cannot say her name on this. No, because that's real mythology.
Yeah,
this is. It starts with Shub, and if I say the second part, I will have to clip it because it's basically just an alliterated N-word.
Really?
Yeah. And most people do not realize it because they don't say it out loud. They're reading it in books.
I'm totally looking that up right now.
Pause for effect.
No, I'm.
It's S-H-U-B.
What now?
S-H-U-B.
S-H-U-B.
And then it starts with an N.
Dead air.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, I told you. See, people, you can see how people don't realize what that is
Yeah.
because it sounds like
Oh my God,
just
the
like
black goat of the woods.
Yep.
Get out, you racist piece of shit.
Yep. It's a ever pregnant monster that has the N word for her last name.
Dude, and you don't even understand the way that, like, before I went in to understand, like, you know, Lovecraft and all of that, I was in for the horror. You know I love horror stuff.
Yeah.
Cthulhu was like pièce de résistance for like high-end horror for me. And then I got to, and then I
then you read the rest of it and you're just
and
like,
then I read
what?
about H.P. Lovecraft and I was like, you're awful.
Yeah. And once you know,
and now I feel bad that I ever like enjoyed all of this.
To be fair to Lovecraft was a weird dude.
Yeah.
He publicly hated Jewish people? His wife was Jewish.
Yeah.
He publicly, like, one of the guys that published his works, that saved his works when he died, was one of his best friends who was a Jewish man. He's a weird guy where, like, his friends would say that about him. They were like, he was incredibly conflicted as a person.
Clearly.
Like, he would say one thing and then act completely differently. Like, he really had problems talking to people. He was an agoraphobe, really didn't understand people. Massive pen pal network.
Mm-hmm.
Knew people all over the country.
Well, on the list of people that we can be glad didn't find the elixir of life.
Yeah, right. He would have just gotten worse.
Can you imagine him crazy after like 200 years of life and mineral buildup in the brain?
Yeah.
To tie it back to what you were talking about earlier, disinfect this mic when we're done with this. I pulled my mask down to take a drink and then you got me thinking.
Yeah. But it is like, I don't know where we'll end with that. As much as I want to say it's something really cool, like a new machine that helps, like that, a nanobot that goes through and cleanses all of your arteries.
Nanotechnology would be so cool.
Yeah.
But I've watched enough Stargate and fucking Star Trek that I'm like, I know where this goes.
Yeah. Or like, give me the worms. Give me the worms from Futurama, where he eats that egg salad sandwich and the worms are
and
like,
then he is suddenly
like ripped and super smart. And all that kind
I remember
of stuff.
that. I remember that episode.
The dumbest thing Fry ever did in Futurama was get rid of those worms.
Yeah.
I was just
I mean, it's Fry.
It's really stupid. He was like, I can never be sure if she really loves me. I was like, you're still you, jackass. You're just a better version of you. Your brain still works the same.
There is
like
show.
Your personality didn't change.
This ties, hilariously, this ties into exactly what we're talking about. There is a show that just kind of began, I want to say, this year. It's called The Beauty. It's got Ashton Kutcher in it. And it is very, very, very on brand with what we were talking about with a viral cure for aging. If you have not watched it, I suggest you check it out. It is very graphic and like some people would consider it a bit vulgar. I personally think it's an excellent and a brutal mirror into where science and are kind of like barreling towards. It's horrifying. Yeah. It's definitely a horror show. It's also got the actor that plays Tate from American Horror Story, Evan Peters. It has a fantastic cast, and the premise of it is very on brand with what we're talking about. It is a virus that basically infects you, overtakes you, and then turns you into the best version of you before it makes you explode.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
like you just melt.
I don't want to give away too many spoilers for anybody that's like interested in watching the show. You know, we were hypothesizing about the next step in.
I was like, how do you improve your genetics?
The fountain of youth.
There's only a couple of things that we know that really do that. And they can also reach every part of the body. Like, because the thing about like the stem cell resurgence where people are like, well, maybe if
see, that's what I thought it was going to be, was the stem cell stuff.
The problem is that you can't inject them enough.
Yeah.
Right? You would have to figure out some way to like make enough new cells in your body to replace the aging cells.
Like the closest thing you can get is the stem cells that a fetus that a woman is pregnant with can send the mother if there is something that goes. It's a very rare instance, but like if for example, a friend of mine has been deathly allergic to strawberries her entire fucking life. Like, I've known her for years, years and years and years and years. And I was also her babysitter when we were out at bars or out at a restaurant or something. And if I would double and triple and quadruple check, is there anything strawberry in this? She will die. And she got pregnant with her second child, is no longer allergic to strawberries.
That's fucking crazy.
It's nuts.
Yeah, just from the sheer amount of growth hormone and
Yeah.
stem cells present in a pregnant woman. See, that's
the closest we've gotten so far.
But it's also like the most traumatic thing that the human body knows it will do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like the getting hit by a truck thing. Like you're designed, like you've evolved to do this, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's such an amazing process. But there's a great episode of a show that's on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes.
There's one about a detective that hunts down people that have children.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he does this is
aging has stopped.
Aging has stopped. And so, like, in the words of his girlfriend in the show, we can't keep inviting people to the party.
Yeah.
Because the world's only so big. And they end up in this weird kind of population collapse because everybody's living too long.
Yeah.
And so, like,
I remember that episode. It was excellent. Also,
yeah.
Good memory. That's from like 4 years ago, dude.
Stuck with me.
Dude, yes.
That was a hell of an episode. And he hunts these people down who have kids illegally. Because presumably some people are still having kids, but they have to like go through
but they're like in
hurdles.
The slums and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he hunts down people who are illegally having kids, and then he goes and he finds this woman, and he's asking her why she does it. And she goes, essentially, she says, I've lived so long that nothing is new.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, like, when she looks at her daughter, everything is new through her eyes. And it's massively impactful because you're like, I remember that theme of death being necessary for mental health, you know, like, and all that stuff, because people just can't really take it to be alive that long.
Sorry, I'm like actually looking it up now because I remember that episode.
And a kind of dark thing about like the possibility of living that long is that imagine the amount of societal stagnation.
Yes.
Like, you think your job's going nowhere now. Imagine your boss never gets old.
Ugh.
There's never, you know what I mean? There's never an opening unless the company expands or you start your own thing, right? Like, it would force society to change. You would have to.
It is season 2, episode 3.
Oh.
So if anybody wants to like hop in to that show and just watch that episode, because he is correct, it is remarkably impactful to watch it.
Excellent CGI.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, I was like, where's the rest of the werewolf story?
Yeah. Right. There's also one in Love, Death, and Robots where a guy is immortal.
Yes.
His cells replicate perfectly every time, which means that he also heals extremely well.
And the robot one, the robot fighting one.
Yeah,
where her brain, where she is the robot.
She is the it's the same episode.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, because it's the only. I don't want to ruin that one. Yeah, because they're after his nuts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
yes.
like that's. God, this is going to sound so weird to somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. They're after his testicles because he heals perfectly. What? That doesn't make... Yeah, that's also an excellent episode. Also, that lady looks like that in real life.
Does she really?
Yeah, that's a mocap model.
Oh,
she
so
really
cool.
looks like that. Yeah, I was just like, her face is insane to me. I'm just like, it's so... She's otherworldly pretty. Mm-hmm. That's our episode on... No.
Elixirs. This was a fantastic discussion episode. I really, really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't often get to talk about subjects like this because, you know, the concept of immortality and or death or like exploring these themes is often taboo in conversation. People don't want to talk about that shit.
Oh yeah.
Like nobody wants to contemplate their own mortality.
Whereas, like,
it makes people uncomfortable.
I do constantly. Though.
I know. Same.
I've been asked that by like doctors and stuff. Like, do you ever think about death? I'm like, yeah, at least once a day. And
like,
then they look at you like, are you terribly depressed? I'm like, not really. I just think about it a lot. You know, it's like I read a lot of dark history. I think about death constantly.
I don't know. I in particular really enjoyed this episode, but that is really cool, and it is deeply amusing to me that, like, once again, in the pursuit of eternity, of eternal life, a fountain of youth, a way to reverse aging and or stop death, we found gunpowder.
Found gunpowder, and trying to find the fountain of youth, we annihilated probably millions of people
Yeah.
because we don't know how like far those diseases went out.
Yeah.
You know, like once they made it to a population, they showed up like smallpox spread around.
Mm-hmm.
We really have no way of knowing. Native American trade routes went like across the country.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have obsidian knives that have been found in New York. There are no volcanoes near you.
There is no reason
There's no obsidian in
there.
New York. Those knives came from Mexico.
Also,
and so,
obsidian knives are fucking cool.
Yeah, they're awesome. And they made it up the Appalachian Trail. So, like, the trade networks went all the way up there. And so, like, we don't know how many people that killed in the search for eternal life. Or the city of gold or whatever.
Fucking nothing but death.
Nothing but death, dude. Like gunpowder, like the discovery of phosphorus.
What?
Of pure phosphorus.
I am recording.
Also led to better, bigger, and better bombs.
Yep.
You know, because they're not just gunpowder anymore. Now they're like nitrogen and phosphorus. And now we have all this crazy stuff that's come out of an industry that's designed to keep you young forever. Right? I would say to some degree, the modern day fountain of youth is the cosmetics industry. You know, like that's our new thing. It's like we're the 17-step Korean skincare. Or
listen,
whatever.
we're not going to look at my dresser or my bathroom counter. Do not.
I have no room to speak as a person who does in fact work on not genetically good skin or hair.
Same.
And have to like constantly maintain to attempt to look. I would say somewhat successfully younger than I actually am, but like that's what
Brian,
was that?
I will be perfectly honest with you. I often forget that we are not the same age. So anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate this episode. This was great.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Oh, also good news. To stave off death. Not really at all. One of our videos is about to break 150.
What?
Yeah. The syphilis episode.
I fucking knew it.
I don't know why.
People are fascinated with venereal diseases, bro.
I get maybe that's right. That's going to be our marketing secret for the future. Is we just find a hot button topic. We don't talk about that, but that is the title of the video.
People spend an hour waiting for it, and then we're ending the episode.
Yeah.
What?
Funny titles of just like
we were talking about gonorrhea.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk about the human trafficking industry one day, and I'll just call the video "Why I Hate Andrew Tate." Yes, get 1 million views overnight.
Oh shit! And a cease and desist.
Yeah, no joke from a highly litigious individual. Jeez. All right. Well, y'all have a great day.
That was so much fun. Thank you for that, and thank you for joining us on this. Honestly, like really spectacular episode, at least from my perspective, because I got to join in on it.
Tell us, get in the comments. Tell us your recipes for eternal life. Maybe it's begonias. I don't know.
That's random.
Begonias. I don't know.
Fucking begonias.
I don't know. Whatever you got, you know.
I do know that mental elasticity is increased by video games. So you know.
That's right.
Points to the gaming industry.
Drink pure cacao nibs like Montezuma II. Play video
games. Absolutely the fuck not. No.
They were like, he drank it for health. I was like, yeah, that's a fuck ton of caffeine. He's drinking this by like the jug.
That's insane. No. Once you go past 200 milligrams of caffeine, you are in the danger zone. Don't do it. Looking at you, Anderson.
And like chili spice and everything else that they used to put in actual like original hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Man, I bet he was healthy as fuck, dude. Every like description of him ever is like, and he was 7 feet tall and jacked as shit. I was like, yeah, dude.
A clean diet on top of that.
Yeah.
Too. All right, we're fucking done. Now we're just riffing. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Hey, this is Brian from Morbid Mondays. If you like the show, please consider stopping by at our Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi/Morbid Mondays. It's $1 a month, and or just any one-time tip. And if you would like to help us fund our future endeavors and or just want to show a little bit of appreciation, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And if you don't. Whatever. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening.